This is a go-to method that I use to easily create content. A lot of times people, we figure out like, well, I know how I want to help people, but how do I put out content? So that's that. So what we're going to focus on today is we're going to focus on a strategy. We're going to focus on a strategy that we call, and some of us know this, but we need a nice reminder about this. We're going to focus on a strategy today to do that. And it's going to be called the HSL method. Okay? HSL method. All right. So with the HSL method, what is that? What does that stand for? One of my vets. What is it? What does HSL method stand for our new folks? Who knows? I can just come off mute and say what it means. What is the HSL? Who remembers what this is? Going once,
We got
going
hook,
twice. There you
hook,
go. So hook,
story,
story,
lesson.
lesson. There you go. Boom. Hook, story, lesson. What we're talking about today is how do you create video content for social media? How do you speak and create video content for social media? And one of the biggest issues that I see people do is they just get on and they just start talking. And you can actually have a rant video, but the thing is, you need something that can capture people's attention. Hook. You need to be able to enroll them in what you're talking about, story and lesson. That's important because especially when you get to the hook in the story, well, the hook story lesson is that the hook is going to stop people from scrolling. So that's key. You need to capture somebody's attention. You got to remember, there's a lot of people that's trying to capture your attention today. And if you don't have a way where you can stop them in their tracks, then it's going to be hard for you to be successful. And if you don't have a story, then one, people don't learn about you as much, and then two, it makes them not care about the lesson. We have far too many people who all they do is talk about lessons. Write this down. Don't be the person that all you do is talk lessons. And look, I'm even hard on myself on that. Because one of the mistakes I used to make is every video, every time I ran my mouth, it was just a lesson. But people need more than lessons. People just need more than execution based. People just need more than that. You need to be able to stop people in their tracks. Sometimes you need to give people motivation. Sometimes you need to tell people a story for them to get it. Sometimes you need to give people an example so they can make the connection on how this makes sense. You feel me? So for this hook story lesson, side of it, this is an easy framework that you can use for any social media platform that you're on. Do me a favor, everybody in the comments right now, put what's the main social media platform you're on? Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok. What's the number one social media platform you're on right now that you use? All right. So hook is capturing attention, right? So what are some good tips for a hook? So write this down, right? And maybe I'll get some from y'all too. But a good hook would be ask a question. Ask a question, right? So you can ask a question and you can say something along the lines of, you know, um, have you been struggling with your relationship? Are you in a marriage and you've been struggling to keep the intimacy alive in your relationship? Or I can say, have you been a coach for the last few years and you're still struggling to make a profit? Or you can say, um, or you can say, um, that's a question, right? I can give you many questions, but just come up with a question. So one of the things is I want y'all to write in the chat right now. What's one question that you could come up with? What's one question that you can ask your audience? One question that you can ask your audience. Any question. But I need you to, I want, this is the key though. I'm gonna give you a tip. The tip is it has to make people curious. If it's not a curious based question where they want to know the answer, then you got to come up with a better question. Because somebody's gonna listen to that and they're gonna be like, damn, he's in my head. Tonita says, do you have ideas that you would like to gain profit from? Good. That's what I'm talking about. Good questions. What will make your goal today so smart? Okay. Are you ready for your dream home? Are you ready to find out an easy way to get things done faster? Good. What's stopping you from being happy? Good question. Do you see how that makes it instantly? Do you see how these questions that you're asking are making it instantly more attractive than, hey, what's up, y'all? How y'all doing today? Hope you're having a good day. Hope everything is good with y'all. Hope you're feeling good. They already left. They scrolling. Right? So you have to, so even if it takes you a minute to figure it out, think of something. You can also start off with the stat. So a stat, did you know, typically stats can start off with like, did you know that, 50% of all business owners go out of business within the first 3 years? Right? I don't know if that's a real stat, but right, you feel what I'm saying? But it could be like some kind of statistic. You can even have your own statistic, meaning you can have a statistic that says 9 out of the last 10 clients, nine out of the last 10 clients that I spoke to struggled with addiction. You feel what I'm saying? So like you can even come up with stats that you found to be true in your own business, but people are interested with like stats, like facts and figures are good, right? So facts and figures. The next is story. So what are some tips with stories that you can use? A tip is make your story relevant. So as we're online or even on stage and we're doing this method, and typically you would use the HSL method, like typically if you're speaking for a few minutes, because it's a good way to cover everything. But you want to make sure that what you're telling is relevant, whether it's a personal story, which I would rather have you tell a personal story, because I think a lot of us, we don't spend enough time having our followers and our audience learn more about us. I don't think they really know about us like that. But I want you to tell relevant stories. So anytime you tell a story, make sure that it's relevant. You get extra bonus points if it's personal. And then make sure that it ties into the lesson, which is probably part of that's probably another way to say that it's relevant, but make sure that it ties into the lesson. Hook, story, and then lesson. We don't got to take too much time because this is the one that if we do speak on camera, or we all coaching or helping somebody out, this is the one we all love doing. We all love doing a lesson. But this is what I would say when it comes to lesson. Don't feel like you have to give too many lessons at once. So you can give one lesson at a time. Meaning if you're doing a video, don't feel like you got to go through 5 different lessons. You can do one video per lesson and that'll actually give you more content. So if I was doing the HSL, let's say if I was doing this on Instagram, I can actually do a whole Instagram video or Facebook video just on hook. And I could do another video on lesson, and I could on story, I could do another video on how to teach lessons. Make sense? Another tip is I want you to think about what you've learned or what you've experienced. What you've experienced. So when it comes to lessons, what really helps you give a good lesson is when you really think about your journey. Like a lot of us have been through things, and which is partly the reason why you focus on the topic that you focus on. But it's very key that you think about, well, what are the lessons that you've learned? And anytime I stop and I think about the lessons that I've learned, like, man, what have I really learned? Like I did this even recently, thinking about I forgot what I did. I was doing some training, and I'm like, okay, well, what are the things that really made the difference for me really building a successful coaching and speaking business? What really helped me make six figures? What really helped me impact people? I was looking at my stats recently. I've impacted over the last year, I've impacted over 1.1 million people online. Different people, not the same people seeing my stuff. New people, new faces, right? Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, clap for that. Right? That's key. So with that, I'm thinking like what really helped me make the impact and the income. And what really helped me do that is thinking about what are the true lessons that I've been through and that I've learned and that I can truly deep down in my heart share with somebody to genuinely help them.